someone so young. But here we go. Vixen banned.
No, he was actually already 17 by the time the rule went into effect.
Oh, well, that makes my joke way less funny. Thanks a lot. Thanks. What a great co-caster you are.
I'm just here to be a buzz.
Thanks a lot, Monty.
And tell you when players are bad, to tell you that baseball is bad, to tell you that soccer is bad. That's
I
what my
agree with
point.
those things. Sure.
That's my function.
Now we know. That's what the Monty bot has been programmed to do. Rumble and Cassiopeia banned out for KT Rolster. Callista Gragas banned out by Naj and Amfire. So KT understandably not wanting to deal with Goong's Callista. And there's the Maokai ban as well too.
So what is Duke going to respond with this game? They could save that counter pick for him if necessary. Interestingly, we saw Sivir fall all the way through the draft in the last one.
Yeah, I think that's the first time we've seen that happen this season.
Well,
it hasn't been picked or banned.
No. But
really?
No.
Oh.
But it is definitely a rarity
Reach
these days.
Look at Reach. He's upset. He's like, why can't I just build some carriers and show these guys my pro gaming power?
He's going to build some carriers.
Just needs to put some sneak a pylon behind the booth for KT and build a gateway there. You know, start sending zealots in really early.
Get some sick Reaver drops going in.
Cannon rush him. Reach has all the cool tactics. Unfortunately, none of them work in this game.
What?
Shen first pick. Did that just happen? Wow. Okay.
Needless to say, that was not picked or banned at all in the last game. So the sudden first pick Shen.
That was the first time Shen's actually appeared and surprised people. Wow. I never thought I'd see the day. Shen was a true ninja at that moment. Even Victor, the two pickups for Najin.
It was all a setup to this one.
That's right.
One shining example.
He's literally been training for years for this moment. Wow, Edge immediately locking that Azir and Score taking the Rek'Sai as well.
Yeah, Najin banning out the Azir in game one, not wanting Edge to have that champion. This time they select the Victor, so they should know that the Azir is coming.
Yeah.
Which also is even more curious because they have the counter pick, and you can play Zed into Azir, and you can play Zed into Victor, and I think that Goong should just play Zed.
Well, it's going to be tough because they've already picked a Victor.
I know, Noah.
Oh,
I know.
It's going to be hard. I think we're going to see more of this Shen Azir combo, though, you know? With Azir being that aggressive as we see people playing him now. Shyvana locked in. Wow, it's just a shy, unmeta pick tribute game, apparently.
The Shy Pocket Pick Bowl.
I guess so, yeah. Shy Pocket Pick Bowl 2015. I like it.
Look how far Alistar managed to fall down. I don't know what's going on in these drafts anymore. Why is Alistar selected in the second round of the draft on the red side? I mean, Watch apparently really needs that Evelynn, even though Score is a perfectly fine Rek'Sai player. And the main issue is that Score's going to know where Watch is at all times for that tremor sense, and it's even easier for you to get in deep wards when you're Rek'Sai against an Eve.
I don't know.
And that was a major problem for Najin in the last game.
It's very bizarre. Well, Peekaboo had some great roaming Thresh play back in the day, and we saw Arrow do just fine on that Kog'Maw in game one, and it looks like he's going to go for it again in game two. Peekaboo with the Thresh. So what will the final pick be?
Yeah,
AD carry.
They really rely on Azir to actually initiate these team fights, though, and that's going to take away. This composition is kind of odd from KT. So they need to get Shen in. They have to have the Azir go in to actually engage these fights because they can't really engage with the Rek'Sai and they can't really engage with the Shen. So, but the problem is that means that as soon as Azir goes in, Kog'Maw has no peel. No peel. There is no one to peel for the Kog'Maw except maybe a Thresh box. And that means that Duke is going to be all over this Kog'Maw.
It's the good luck Kog'Maw composition. Because you just kind of start your team fight and you turn to Kog'Maw and say, good luck.
That's how I feel. I mean, certainly they can counter-engage with this composition with the Rek'Sai and the Shen ultimate, but it's not really all that reliable when it comes to engages if you want to protect Cog. Now, KT has good siege here, very good siege, but if they start to fall behind and they have to start fighting Najin at Dragon or at Baron where they need to engage, there are going to be big problems for KT. They have to kite, they have to poke, they have to siege. They're not really cut out to falling behind and being forced to engage. Meanwhile, Najin, a lot more engage options. Evelyn flanks, Shyvana ultimates. You have a lot of room right there for Victor and Vayne to skirmish. I think Najin definitely coming out of this with a better composition. Or more versatile, I should say.
We'll see if it pays off for them. A win here would tie up the series and send it to Game 3. And Najin, after winning so handily in the last match, I don't think they want to go out 0-2 in this one.
Well, OQ's on Vayne. Champion he does very well on.
He can make the plays. KT versus Najin, Game 2. It's time to get in the game. All right, here we go again. KT Rolster versus Najin the Empire. And perhaps a bit of an early invade for KT. Or perhaps waiting for the invade from Najin.
I'm scratching my head here thinking why KT didn't want to play Sivir in this composition, because it would have given them better engage, and they also wouldn't have to be as worried because Sivir, with her mobility and her spell shield, means that she can do a lot better just in the front line. She really wants to be charging through a team fight as opposed to Kog'Maw. I mean, Arrow is a bit of a sitting duck against Shyvana and Evelyn flanks unless they burn the Azir ultimate pretty inefficiently to clear out the tanks.
Well, that's 2 games in a row now where Sivir wasn't picked or banned. That is pretty shocking.
Yeah, it is. Definitely not the trend we've seen in the last several weeks of play.
What are Someday and Score doing here? They're waiting for a long time. I sense something cheesy here.
Well,
maybe just going for a red buff steal, but
no. What? They're going for the steal again, but they're already defensive wards down for Najin at the red buff. So they know what happened last game, and they're suspecting that the same thing's going to happen again. And they would be right to suspect this.
Yeah, they'll just trade buffs, it looks like.
Yeah, they're reacting well. So already the adaptation seen from level 1s. And Arrow and Peekaboo just going to take the small Krug and head to lane. They want that advantage. They want the 2v2 with that big, big poke.
Well, they will go into lane with a little bit of an XP boost because of that. Looks like Duke's just going to teleport and then go back up to top lane. Now where's Score going to go after this? Taking the Raptors. Looking at the minimap right now. So how do you think this bot lane's going to go?
Not well for Vayne. I mean, you have the sustain at the very least, but you basically are guaranteed to get poked with the Bioarcane Barrage. Not quite as bad as the Janna poke with the Eye of the Storm, but still going to be, I think, a little bit difficult for OQ. But OQ's pretty good about coming out even in the laning phase with this Vayne.
Yeah. Despite the early Krugs, too, Najin was able to take their level 2 just slightly earlier. Descendants onto Pure, a little bit of poke going to come in out of that. OQ immediately goes onto Arrow, prevent any sort of big trades. A good move there.
Not really a big deal. These early levels, you know, Vayne's it's gonna start going poorly once the big poke comes in from Arrow's Kog'Maw.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what OQ can do on this Vayne. That is his main champion. It is the champion that he's made a lot of his big plays on, what he's carried the most games on.
Actually, Duke sees Score right there at the Gromp, so they got some good knowledge. Duke just using this time to go ahead and take a Scuttle Crab. And Duke's really free on this top side of the map. The Shyvana pick into the Shen. You're able to clear the waves with the burnout much faster than Shen can before he gets the Sunfire Cape. And that means you have a lot of time just to work on the map. roam around.
That being the case, are you a little bit surprised you went for teleport flash instead of smite teleport?
Yeah, I am actually.
I was kind of thinking that. I mean, with all that time, you could go back and take the Krugs really easily. Make sure you keep control of the Rift Sculler.
Also, just would have been great onto Kog'Maw.
Yeah.
Getting the smite down onto that Kog'Maw is pretty damaging.
Yeah, in fact, this is one of the first non-smite Shyvanas we've seen, because Shy prefers it with smite. Nope, Watch taking some damage, Edge coming down too. It's a little bit low health though. They need to be careful here. Yeah. Now, Goong with not a lot of mana left, so the chase would not have been too effective.
Yeah, Najin's still in the enemy jungle though, looking for score, just getting some wards in as much as they can. Duke going to respond just by coming in and starting to proxy farm. This is so dangerous against Shen. And this is one of the big problems with Shen, is that you can do this as a top laner, and by getting the deep wards in, by Pure and Watch teaming up to do that, they're opening up Duke to just keep doing this on the top side of the map as long as he knows where the Rek'Sai is. This is really nice team play from Najin. It looks like they definitely got it together after the last game. Just the coordination. Use the wards on the bottom side of the map. Chase, score around his own jungle. Make sure you keep him under control. And then you just screw up some days Shen in the top side.
Well, they're definitely doing that. Duke's making it very hard for him to farm, to not take damage on the turret. Missing out on a little bit of CS there. Some days not doing a terrible job, but it's not easy.
Somebody's coming back right now. Duke just farming another wave with Burnout. Oh, nice sidestep on the taunt.
Yeah.
That's just annoying.
Yep.
Duke is level 6, so he has his ultimate available, and he's taken the Wolves. He's going to take the Gromp.
Just makes you wonder, too. I mean, Smite would have made a lot of this easier to do, wouldn't it have?
Yeah. Yep, smart. Just use Burnout. Get out as he sees the Wolf Spirit come up. He's too low to deal with it, and the wave is naturally going to push out towards his tower anyway. So nice play from Duke. Gets a little bit of chip damage on the tower, controls Someday in that top side, even though he didn't get too much of a CS advantage as a result, but he denied a lot.
And meanwhile, down in bot lane, OQ and Pure have managed to actually poke out Peekaboo and Arrow and do a lot of damage. Look at that. Man, OQ is so good on this Vayne. Because this is not a matchup where you usually see the Vayne Alistar being the duo that's pushing.
Oh boy. It's Blade of the Ruined King split push Shyvana. This is very exciting. This is a build we haven't seen in a really long time.
Yeah. Well, that would explain the no. I mean, I think we knew kind of because there was no smite. That was probably the direction it was going to go. But still, it's something we haven't seen in a while.
Could have just gone full tank. Definitely could have been Sunfire Cape.
You gain more by the ability to just jump in and blow up their carry, though, right?
Well, you have to still be tanky, so it does take some time to build into that. But in the dragon form, the extra tanky stats that you get really help out.
Shen doesn't offer a lot of damage early on, too, that you need to worry about.
Watch us to flash.
Yeah, there's a flash knockup coming in from Score. Watch could be in trouble. Edge comes down, and Watch is going to get taken out. First blood taken with that Emperor's Divide by Edge. Edge getting shielded nicely by that Shen ultimate. Keeps him nice and healthy, and Goong can't pick up a counter kill.
Yeah, but Najin also just going to do even more proxy farming in this top side. Of course, with that sustain off of the Cutlass, that means that basically Duke is not really going to take any damage from the minion waves now that he is tanking with his face.
Yeah.
And Shyvana can take down turrets very quickly. And that's what she's going to get. So they actually trade that for a turret. So in the end, Najin actually gets the better end of that deal.
Getting that top lane turret is huge. Duke's even more safe to do all this farming, to do Duke things.
This is such a good top lane matchup.
Yeah.
Very exciting to watch. It's fun to watch in the first game with that solo kill, and it's been played out very intriguingly in the second game, and Someday using that ultimate was really punished hard by Duke, as well as it should have been, and he's just going to keep trying to be the big carry on his team.
It's nice when you have two, mechanically and mechanically skilled, talented top laners, and they're not just playing tank wars. You know, they're not just autoing each other every few seconds, and it's like, oh, it's time to ult to clear the wave. It's nice to see something a little bit more dynamic.
With dirty farming behind the turret.
That's right.
So it's instead of tank versus tank, it's tank versus minions, and then another tank under the turret.
Huh. The tank kind of feels sad because he wants to go and deal with the other tank, but the other tank is too tanky to be tanked down. Wow.
Someone actually winning that surprised me a bit.
I'm just surprised the amount of split pushing pressure that Duke is already able to put so early in the game. Goong taking a fair amount of poke from Edge's Sand Soldiers.
Yes, he is. And I mean, watch on that invade too. I mean, he did have some good wards down, so it wasn't the riskiest thing in the world, but he did get punished for it. Oh.
Whoa, going in on the Goong. There's the Emperor's Divide. It was dodged by the Flash. Chaos Storm doesn't connect though. Score in a little bit of trouble. And Edge makes it out too, but they are very low health. Teleport coming in.
Here
Someday
comes Duke.
They're going to try to catch them. Flash from Pure to get the knock up. Here comes Peekaboo to come up. Don't even need him though. A kill for Goong. Edge gets back in the lane, but he's still very low health.
I don't know. Duke might be able to pull some sort of crazy move right here if he wanted to. Instead, he's just going to push up the mid lane, but that's going to be a dragon over to NJE Empire.
Yeah, looking pretty good already here in game number 2. And Someday, you know, didn't ult to try to save anybody. I suppose it was a little bit too dangerous.
Yeah.
Being that far into the enemy jungle.
Yeah. Duke is maxing the burnout here, as we can see. Our observer showing us, just so he has the maximum possible amount of wave clear early in the game.
Makes sense. Well, OQ, they've pushed the lane up, but OQ has started to fall behind pretty significantly in CS already.
Yeah, that's, I mean, Arrow has his ultimate now. He's got the Sheen. He can trade without really many ramifications from OQ because he just pops the Bio-Arcane Barrage and then starts mowing him down with Sheen procs. So that is, it's going to be really difficult for OQ to get near the wave at this point and reliably farm.
And with Duke pushing through that top lane so quickly, they can't really lane swap him, can they?
No. Someday it might be interesting to try to lane swap him or have OQ go into the 1v1 just because Someday has just the cowl right now, so OQ would be quite strong. Although he doesn't have the Blade of the Ruined King completed yet, and Duke does. This is really problematic for Someday that one of the biggest, most annoying things about Shyvana is she does a lot of magic damage to you, but then when she itemizes with Blade of the Ruined King, she does both kinds of damage, and that's why one of the reasons this build is so efficient for Shyvana in a top lane situation, because basically you force the other top laner to either out damage you, which is difficult if you're playing a tank, or to get 2 core items before they can compete with your split pushing in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, which by then you've lost a turret or 2 already. Makes it a bit tough. And Najin's certainly jumping out to a pretty significant lead early on in this one. OQ's getting pretty close to his blade, though. Shouldn't be too much longer.
And what are they going to do about Duke? They have no answer to this split push. And the Shen is just a long way away from getting Trinity Force or anything that's going to give him what he needs to actually take down this Shyvana or match her damage.
Yeah, Score's not really able to put enough pressure on like a 2v2 or something, I suppose. Wouldn't really work.
Yeah, they just can't right now. I mean, Duke and Watch have built for damage, so any 2v2 in the top side would be very difficult for KT to come out with a victory in. Duke also 2 levels up now.
Wow.
Oh, that's not good. That's actually probably the worst thing.
It's not something we see very often, too.
Well, Duke's just been all over the map. He was farming out mid lane for a while after that little engagement. He's got to, Someday cannot do that. He has to be so careful.
Yeah.
I miss you, Blade of the Ruin King split push Shyvana.
It's been fun to watch.
Is
he going to try to ultimate away from the turret, maybe? Oh, Duke going in. Taking a lot of turret damage, though.
It's okay. He's going to go heal off the blue buff. Take that, too. This is so reminiscent of last game where KT was just taking over the jungle with all the pressure. This time, however, Najin just responding in kind. And KT, they keep going into the bottom side of the map. This is where they have the power, but they can't take away that blue buff right now. Score needs to be taking a serious look around the Dragon Pit because they have to get this next objective.
Oh, they caught watching the jungle there. There's the Flay. Peekaboo keeps him close by. Flash from Arrow, and there's an ult. Bullseye. Arrow picks up a kill there. That was a direct hit.
And again, that's the side of the jungle that KT actually has control over because they're the ones aggressively pushing up in the bottom lane. So a little bit dangerous for Watch to be there. Had an opportunity just to go into the top side, his top side instead, and farm up that way, but gets caught out, and he ultimately pays for it. Now, of course, there's not really anything that can be taken.
Oh, wow, nice all in onto Edge. Edge taking a lot of damage from that Chaos Storm. Comes back in. Emperor's Divide pushes away, and here comes Score over the wall. Can they turn it around? Shen comes in as well, and they pick up the kill. Both mid laners go down, but at least they were able to turn that around on Goong. But man, they used a lot to take out Goong.
Wow, Goong, heads up play, but what are they going to do? KT, every time Someday leaves his lane, he takes so much damage onto his tower.
Yeah.
So it was a nice play by Goong, and the fact that it was a 1-for-1, they also got 50% damage down onto the bottom turret, or the top turret rather, and that is worth so much.
Man, I really thought that was going to be a pretty quick kill for Goong, but KT just barely managed to turn that one around. A crazy team fight. Or 1v1 that turned into sort of a team fight. Dragging up to 25. A skirmish, yes. A melee. Oh, Shen just throws swords at you as you walk by. Hey, here comes Edge, though. Duke has to ult to get away.
And now that ult may not be up for the start of this dragon fight either.
Definitely won't be. With the dragon coming up in about 5 seconds. Get it back pretty quickly, but
yeah,
be around for the moment.
You could definitely get the Fury back relatively rapidly. Uh-oh, nice
they caught OQ. Great death sentence. OQ flashes away and gets barely out of range. Pure, though, taking a lot of damage.
Well, good thing they chunked out Najin right before this next dragon.
Yeah.
That's going to be something that OQ has to just sort of auto-attack the Gromp for just to get some more HP, but I don't think they're going to be able to contest this dragon at all.
Doesn't look like it right now. Edge coming down as well, too. Peekaboo putting in some nice wards deep in the jungle. And they get that dragon. So tying things up in dragons, getting a kill, getting some wards down, which is probably the most important thing, is to have those wards down. Peekaboo's been doing such a good job of being annoying as far as controlling this vision. First game, it was a lot of Score. This game, it's been a lot of Peekaboo.
Yep. I mean, Peekaboo did a lot of work in the first game, too, in terms of vision control. You could definitely see he is a very good support player.
Yeah, it's really good to see him back, too, because he was always one of the more exciting, intelligent supports to watch. Good mechanics, good decision-making, great warding. I still don't know if they needed to replace Fixer with him, but he's a good support.
So it's just interesting to me because if you look at the teams that really could have used a support player, you would have thought that Najin would be the more logical choice for Peekaboo.
Could be. He only plays for telecoms. That's the rule.
He won't play if he has to pay a phone bill. Has to get that for free all the time.
That's part of the deal. Free phone and internet. Play. OQ goes into the box. Gets hit. OQ tumbling in. Arrow taking some damage, but there's the exhaust. That's going to cut quite a bit of it. Score coming over the wall. Oh, and here comes Watch. Shen coming down as well, too. Teleports coming in. Can Duke make a play here? Peekaboo gets taken out before he can death sentence away. And Najin backing off with the knockup from Pure. Whoa, Someday coming back in again with the taunt on Pure. They get the kill via Score, Duke. But Duke is right here, though. They may be able to turn this one around. Or not. Here comes Goong, a little bit late to the party. Edge comes down as well, too. So 2 down on both sides. A little bit of an awkward fight there.
Yeah, definitely just a bit awkward. Arrow had his Trinity Force right there, has a bunch more gold to spend at the moment after picking up a couple kills so far this game. And, you know, the Shen ult was pretty telegraphed, I had to say, onto Peekaboo at the start of that fight. So a bit of a surprise that Okyu got hit by the taunt, and he was even within taunt range by the time that channel completed. And it's like Najin not quite going to trade the tower right here.
Good damage from KT.
They're going to get the bottom one, but KT not able to take out the mid turret. That is a pretty significant advantage now for Najin. They're starting to take over in terms of the turret score.
Yeah, 2-0 so far, but that's going to change now. There goes mid lane turret. Oh, and here comes Alistar from the side. Nice Emperor Survive to bring Pure back in. They would have liked to catch more. They'll take a kill to go along with that turret.
And Goong just farming out the bottom side right now. Very strange that he stuck around there for so long after the turret was destroyed just to farm, because he's the main source of wave clear on his team, and without him in mid, this is just going to keep happening. Yeah,
a lot of damage out of that mid lane turret. Will they be able to actually take it out? Looks like they will. So responding with 2 turrets and a kill now. Duke invading into the enemy jungle. Looks like they're going to trade blues.
Yeah, just a blue trade going down, but importantly, Edge likely to receive the blue buff, whereas Goong left without one on his own. And this is a bit of an interesting situation from Najin. But remember, we're talking about these team comps. KT has extremely strong siege, and Najin only has the Victor for the wave clear. So Goong has to be in the right place. He cannot be split pushing. There is no reason for Victor to continue split pushing after that turret goes down. You have a Blade Shyvana and a Blade Vayne. You have a great 1-3-1, but Victor should just be sitting in the mid lane clearing the wave. That is misuse of his composition. I mean, they get punished really hard for it, and 2 towers go down.
Yeah, this game's gotten very, very even very quickly. Same turrets, same dragons, similar kills. Gold is very close. Dragon up in about 2 minutes, though. And who's going to have the edge going into that one?
I mean, we'll see how it actually goes down. I think that Duke's still working on getting a little bit tankier. He's great in the split push right now, but he's still not up to full power in terms of team fighting. Has a cowl, probably going to get a Randuin's Omen next, and work from there.
Could have just said KT. They've got the edge going into every fight in this game. Wah, wah. Set you up for that one. Looks like KT's going to take another turn in bot lane, though. Najin kind of appearing to fall apart a little bit at this point in the game. They look a bit flustered.
Well, they don't have wave clear, so as long as this Kog'Maw has this Trinity Force and is able to push up, there's not a lot they could do unless Goong runs around the map to put out the fires, which he's not going to do, apparently.
I guess so. That turret getting lower as well, too. Goong coming in now, but that turret's going to go down before he gets there. And KT just walks up and kills another 2 turrets.
Well, I mean, this is how it's going to go once you hit this power spike. And KT does have a good comp as long as they can continue to control the tempo of the game. If they can get the siege, they're going to be in really good shape. If they can sit at the dragon and force Najin to engage into them where they can kite, they're going to be in good shape. The problem for KT's composition arrives if you get behind and you have to be the one engaging onto a Baron or trying to force a fight around an objective. That's when you don't have any tools to do so besides like landing a hook or a crazy Azir engage, but that Azir engage leaves your Kog'Maw very vulnerable.
Well, Najin doing the best they can to push the lanes back up after losing those 2 turrets. Dragon is up now, and it looks like KT is going to be able to get there first.
I love the fact that KT is just figuring out whichever lane OQ is in and then just putting a bunch of people there to kill towers because they know he doesn't even have a static shiv yet. Now he has it just completed. But up until this point, there was really nothing to prevent them from taking a turret with an Azir and a Trinity Force Kog'Maw. It's very simple.
KT already working on that dragon. Looks like they'll be able to get it without any issue. Najin pushing up the mid lane, but KT should be able to get back to defend it. And they do.
Yeah, pretty easy. They have the mobility. Duke, nice zone on the side, and we do indeed see his Banshees fail, and now he started working out a Randuin's Omen, so he is getting very scary for Kog'Maw.
KT able to clear those minions really quickly, and they've still only taken about a third damage on that turret.
There is no damage on the top lane tower 24 minutes into this game. Duke has been doing so well on the top side of the map.
It is pretty impressive. So now I'd imagine we'll see KT going top then. Got to continue that siege, right?
Well, they've taken down 2 tier 2s already. So yeah, that is the only kind of,
Oh boy, Duke gets caught. Here comes Score over the wall. They got him with the, wow. They got him with all the CC.
What a good hook from Peekaboo on the setup, waiting for the Dragon Transform, immediately continues the CC chain.
Yep.
And locks up the kill onto Duke.
Well, Edge can hold this turret too just fine, it looks like. In fact, he's going to Empress by Duke. Goon back under the turret. What a play by Edge. Barely gets out, barely lives. But still, talk about defending your turret.
Shen ulting right there. Also, Arrow just left to split push in the top side of the map.
Why not? Oh, we may have a fight. Here's a headbutt. Fear flashing in for the Pulverize. Edge flashing back in the meantime. OQ very low already, but here comes Watch with a nice flank. Pick move from the side. Throws down the shield to try to protect Edge. Doesn't end up working, though. Kills coming in from both sides so far. Goon getting very low. Knockups coming in, and Watch trying to throw out those hate spikes as well as he can. Ultimate tank fight.
Well,
goodbye, Watch.
Duke not actually going to TP right there.
I guess
he
not.
had an opportunity to come into that fight.
Whoa, Pure gets caught too, and KT near ace for them.
Kind of a delayed ace. Duke was dead until recently, and
That's
here we
true.
go. Void Rush.
Well, they're going to go right back up there to keep Arrows safe so they can keep pushing this turret.
I have to wonder why Duke wasn't going to TP into that fight, because everyone was so low.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of items now. I feel that he actually could have cleaned up that engagement pretty easily.
It is really puzzling.
As you know, he's dead right now, but starting right now, he could have actually TP'd to a ward. They had that pink ward. Of course, OQ is already dead, but Goog's still alive and dancing around the gravity field at the moment. So it's a 3v3.
He would have been in like right now. I don't know.
I mean, Arrow was just nowhere even close to that engagement, so they could have had a 3v4 with the Blade of the Ruin King Shyvana, who's going to do exceptionally well in those skirmishes. Peekaboo.
Peekaboo is so good.
Having a great game.
Oh yeah, having 2 great games. Well, solid lead for KT at this point. And now do you start to pressure Baron? Maybe you give up this mid lane turret. Looks like they're thinking about it. Or not.
Nope. There with the Azir and Score from the side. So KT back in this game. They looked like they were having some rough times early, but some days managed to make it work, even though he's fallen incredibly far behind in terms of farm.
Yeah, he certainly made up for it, though, in kills and assists. He's been able to be a part of quite a bit. Peekaboo's getting pretty scary as well, too, as far as his ability to just sit in a fight. He's already got a frozen heart.
That's actually ridiculous.
I know.
It's great.
1,400 more gold than Pure.
It's great because someday built to Randuin's Omen, so now your support is not going to be as easily targetable by Duke or by OQ.
Yep.
Well, KT looking good as long as they can be the ones who continue to pressure here, which is definitely pretty easy for them.
Seems like they're still bouncing on a bit of an edge, but they're bouncing on the right side so far.
Yeah, Edge really, as a player, coming out much better than last week, too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, on Saturday, he had some very unfortunate and kind of mindless deaths where he would come into the mid lane, get a gank for him, get that kill, and then he would get low, and then he would walk away, not even back to his turret, start recalling, and the enemy jungler would just pop out and kill him.
Yep.
So can't give away kills like that. Was pretty sloppy.
That's a pretty easy thing to fix, though, and it looks like he has. And his Azir looking miles better than his Victor did. most of the other times we've seen it.
His Victor was pretty good last game.
Last game it was, but before that, though, his Victors were not terribly great. Today, in general, looking better.
Yeah. Much tighter play.
Oh, they're going to pressure this mid lane. They think they've got Najin out of position here, and they might be able to just grab an inhibitor turret for this. They will. Wow. Now, can Najin respond? KT on the run. Shen able to come in. Shyvana trying to come from the side, but he's going to be held up by that Azir turret.
That was a really awkward teleport, and KT definitely making the most of that, going through the bottom side jungler, not even giving...
oh, wow, they're rushing Baron. Are they actually
way too many?
No.
No, there are way too many KT wards around that Baron right now. They can't feasibly start. The best thing they could do is try and bait this. I doubt that's going to work where there's a Rex sign. They may see. Now they're going to start it, though. They're seen 100%.
Okay. Well, here we go. Baron at about half health now. What's the engage going to be from KT? Alistar trying to zone people out. Baron getting very low. People coming in. Peekaboo getting close. Lays down the box to make it hard. And Score able to get that Baron. Can KT win the rest of this fight? Now it looks like they can. Huge engage. OQ gets jumped on by Someday over the wall. Someday trying to tumble away. Amazing. KT steals the Baron, gets 4 kills. They may get close to ending this one right now.
Yeah, the death timers are pretty long. I actually think they may be able just to win the game. They have the minion wave right there with them, and they have the Trinity Force Cogma.
Wow,
so
Score, what a hero.
Yeah, that was a big, big steal, but Najin, an absolute desperation Baron call, totally unnecessary.
I like this by KT too, playing it safe, just knowing that they can take 2 inhibitors instead of just try to go for the win here. Which makes you wonder if they could have just gone for the win there. But either way, it's a nice, big, big edge now.
Well, they got such a huge gold lead out of that fight. Definitely the safer thing is go back, spend your money, then make the final push. Just look at that. They have 2,000 gold on 4 members.
Yeah. Take the dragon on your way out as well, too. Get that move speed boost.
I was laughing during that fight because Someday totally whiffed his taunt.
Oh.
On to OQ. But it's okay. Still a good effort. I mean, OQ has a QSS now, but he's a long way away from getting any kind of armor penetration. Look at that hook from Pure, again, on the Alistar headbutt.
Peekaboo, yeah.
Or onto Pure, and then there's the steal.
Pulls Duke back.
Yep. I mean, Peekaboo is doing amazing work this game.
Yeah. He has certainly not missed a beat after being gone for a little while.
I don't know why Someday taunted backwards right there. Looked like a misclick.
He's scared, you know? Scared of OQ. He's a scary guy. That's scary Vayne. Well, 0-3-2, not too scary, though.
This scary Vayne has no armor penetration, and he has a Sunfire and a Randuin. So Vayne is scary, but, you know, maybe not. In
Giant
this particular,
Shen is coming. So Duke just like stunned. He's like, wow, I wasn't ready for Giant Shen. Just in case Shen couldn't be any more obvious, now he's like 10 feet tall.
I like how Someday just left him there and just kept farming the minions while Duke stood there after his Banshee's veil was blown and his recall was stopped.
That was like a moment where the top laners look at each other and like, so we've reached this point, have we? All right, putting on the pink board to make sure there's no flanks from Watch. I don't think they need to be too worried either way. Here comes a push. They want to take that last inhibitor. And have they caught Duke? Oh, if that hook had hit, would have been bad for Duke.
No. Score just trying to prevent Duke from recalling right now and actually mounting any kind of defense in the base. They want those super minions on the next. It's actually very good use of Score's time.
Yeah. Well, here come all the super minion waves now. That inhibitor in top lane vulnerable. Score's going to turn around. Evelyn ult comes in. Peekaboo drops that box immediately, misses his hook. And Duke gets very low, goes down. Edge doing a ton of damage with those sand soldiers in the middle. Goong has to run for his life out of this fight. OQ has a pretty good angle on things, though, but he's not able to get a lot of damage done yet. Waiting for it. Here comes Edge. They're going to flash ahead. Tried to get that taunt. Didn't end up working out. OQ tumbling back to the base after getting out with that QSS, popping a summoner heals well. The KT's got enough. They're just going to go for these Nexus turrets. 1 is already down. 2 goes down. Less than a week ago, Najin got the 2-0.
That was a sick Azir play. He bent the soldiers around the Nexus right there for the ultimate. Now we know why Najin was so dedicated to banning out that Azir.
Less than a week ago, Najin was on the winning end of a 2-0. This time, KT comes right back with a very strong 2-0 to start off their second round.
Yeah, very methodical play overall. Najin started out doing so well in that second game, but then when the siege actually kicked in, they had nothing to really stop it, and that created a large gold lead.
One thing that really struck me was just how well Peekaboo and Score seemed to work together in terms of controlling vision, in terms of like making picks.
Yes.
I think this is a duo that could actually really work for KT.
Well, we'll see. You know, Edge's performance was good today, but has been a bit spotty. I'm excited to see the new KT. Obviously, Peekaboo doing a lot of work on his first day back after a while with those wrist injuries.